Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, different surroundings I'm afraid. I'm here away with work in Lithuania, of all places. But what I'd like to do is say a massive thank you to Paul from Bluebird Legend YouTube channel. And this is a match preview for the upcoming Cardiff game.
Hi, my name's Paul. I'm a lifelong Cardiff City supporter, and I'd like to thank Andy for inviting me on this preview video for the Cardiff City versus Manchester City match this coming weekend.
Okay, Paul, so these are my questions to you then. Question number one, you've had a mixed start but played both Arsenal and Chelsea. So far you played 5, won none, drawn 2, lost 3, got 2 points, -6 goal difference, 17th in the Premier League. Happy with the start?
Am I happy with Cardiff's start to the season so far? Performance-wise, yes, I'd say we're doing okay. In the first match of the season against Bournemouth, first half we were really under the cosh, went 1-0 down. It was a bit of a shock to the system for the players, really, for stepping up from the Championship into the Premier League. Neil Etheridge as well, he saved a penalty in that first half, but second half we really came out and really put the cherries under the cosh with a series of set pieces to be expected really from Cardiff. We had numerous chances throughout that second half, but we just couldn't convert. And then inevitably in injury time, we let a second goal in. So performance-wise, it was an okay game, but it was a harsh lesson really to start the season with. In the second match, we were up against Newcastle, and really we should have claimed all 3 points, especially with Newcastle having a player sent off. However, it was in the dying minutes of that game, Neil Etheridge had to save a penalty spot kick, and we were lucky to get away with a draw in the end, you could say. In our third match, we were up against Huddersfield away, and like against Newcastle, the opposition had a player sent off. But whereas Newcastle, it seemed to galvanise them a bit, with Huddersfield, we really took the game to them then. But again, our downfall, we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and we came away with just a draw in this game too. We really should have taken all 3 points from this match, and it was a little bit disappointing just to come away with that 1 point. In our fourth match, we were home against Arsenal, and this is possibly our best performance of the season. Okay, we did lose the match in the end 3-2, but it was a game where we could have taken all 3 points. We were well worth a draw. I think people were surprised on how well we played football-wise, but in the end it was the quality of the likes of Aubameyang and especially Lacazette, and it was Lacazette's goal in the end who won the game for Arsenal with a great strike. Next up, we were away against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and we actually took the lead in this match with a Sol Bamba volley from Girol's free kick, which was nodded on via Morrison, and Bamba was there at the back post to put the ball in the back of the net. However, as the game, or the first half went on, we conceded 2 goals from Eden Hazard. Brilliant player, probably in the top 2 or 3 players of the season so far, you could say, in these first few weeks. Second half, we actually came back into the game again, put up a good performance, and we could have equalised through Bobby Reid. His shot just went wide of the far post, but then in the last 10 minutes of the match, Bamba was at fault with a ridiculous challenge, you could say, going to ground inside the area on Willian, and popped Eden Hazard for his third goal of the match and his hat-trick. And then it was Willian with the 4th goal of the match with a superb strike. So even though we did put in a good performance, slightly flattering, you could say, Chelsea, it was 0 points on the board again. But overall, yeah, I think we've done okay performance-wise. We've played well. Slightly disappointed that we haven't got a victory in those first 5 matches. We are on 2 points, but if we continue the way we have been playing, putting in those performances like we have against the likes of Arsenal and in a way Chelsea, then I think against clubs such as Burnley, the Southamptons, Crystal Palaces, then I think we'll be okay going forward in this initial period of the season.
Okay, my next question is about Vincent Tan. As we know recently, Vincent Tan's converted another £64.4 million of the club's debts into equity. Now, after all the issues that occurred when he came in and the changing of the kit and all that type of thing, I know he was like a hated man in Cardiff. Has your thoughts changed on him, and why?
What are my thoughts on Vincent Tan? Well, if you'd have asked me this question a couple of years ago, then you would have got a totally different answer, probably with a lot of expletives as well. However, Tan as an owner is learning. He's reduced our debt, reducing all of our debt. He's turning it into equity, as you may or may not know. He did turn us back from red to blue as well a couple of seasons ago. Probably one of the worst decisions any owner has made in the history of our club, really. Terrible decision, split the fan base, made us the laughing stock, really, of football. When we were in the Premier League last time, he was there every week. He was kind of taking, the sort of the plaudits, and he liked to be in the sort of the public eye a lot. However, in this last season or two, he sort of kept a low profile, which has been brilliant, really. He's let Neil Warnock get on with managing the team. With Ken Chu and Mehmet Dalman, the chairman, really letting him run the club. He is there for a final say on transfers, etc. and everything, and he does have overall control. However, with him keeping out of the spotlight, you could say things are a lot better as well. And with him reducing the debt has been brilliant. So, but as I say, from fans' point of view, it looks like he has learned his lessons. He has come out and said that turning the strip from blue to red was a mistake, but he has turned it back again. So whether you can forgive him or not, a lot of fans have, many fans haven't. Many fans have come out and said that they won't return to the club until Tan has left. I stuck it out. I always knew that eventually we'd turn back to blue, and Tan has, my tune has changed on Tan, but there are still those memories. However, at the moment, he's doing a good job.
My next question, Neil Warnock, horrible dinosaur. Cardiff fans, how do you view him?
Warnock, horrible dinosaur? No, I don't think so. The majority of Cardiff City fans absolutely love Neil Warnock. Personally, I wish he'd have been here a few years earlier. When he took over a couple of years ago, we were heading for relegation. We were in the relegation zone. I think we were either second from bottom or bottom at the time. Things were looking bad. Paul Trollope, who's now I think he's assistant manager at Brighton, was in charge of the team, and the way we were playing, the whole club, it was in dire need of something. In came Warnock, and he totally transformed the place. Brought everybody together, the backroom staff, the different offices throughout the club, the chairman, the owner, the directors and everything, the fans, totally transformed it. Absolutely brilliant. Got us playing as well with a desire and a belief with the same players. We finished the season in 12th position, which was brilliant from where he took over. Last season then we kicked on. Pundits and other people weren't giving us any real hope of getting anywhere near promotion. I personally thought we may have got to the playoffs, but most people were thinking, maybe it'll be mid-table for this season. However, as we know, we got promoted automatically in second spot. Superb season. Playing wise, okay, with the players that we've got, we do play to our strengths. I know that we don't play out from the back like other clubs. We haven't really got the players in our defence to do that. I think from what I'm seeing, he likes to get the ball clear from the danger areas, really. That starts from the goalkeeper. If we've got the ball from a goal kick, he doesn't really look to play it out to the full backs or into a deep lying midfielder or the centre back. More often than not, it will go long up into the midfield areas or out to the wing. If we are played from the back, and defenders will get it out to the wings or into the midfield areas, probably quite quickly as well. He really galvanised the place, and he's done a fine job. Not to everybody's cup of tea, but I think at all the clubs he's been at, or most of the clubs he's been at, he's been well loved. He is a character, as I say. He's a little bit like Marmite. You either love him or loathe him, but at Cardiff City, we absolutely love him.
My next question is sort of linked to others. Do you think this weekend what you'll do is go out and try and do what you did last season, and that's absolutely hack our players to pieces, get some big balls into the box, hope you get a knockdown and score?
Do I think this match on the weekend is going to be another one of those go out and hurt as many Manchester City players as possible? Or no, I think Cardiff are going to try and play as much football as they can. We've seen against Arsenal already this season and Chelsea that we do like to get the ball down on the deck and play when we can. We do play to our strengths. We've got that, in our ammunition. We've got the long throws from the likes of Morrison, Patterson if he's on the pitch, and Gunnarsson, who haven't played this season. They can launch balls into the opposition penalty area from the throws. But yeah, as I said, we do like to get the ball down and play as well. The likes of Victor Camarasa, Harry Arter. We've got the likes of Josh Mersfee as well. He's currently out injured. Hopefully he'll be back for the Manchester City game on the weekend. I think he's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. And we've got the likes of Junior Hoylott, who haven't really had the best of seasons so far. And we've got Bobby Reid as well, who's it was a slow start for Bobby Reid, but he's starting to play well now. And link up with Danny Ward up front as well. That partnership is showing signs of fruition up front. But Andy, I think you might be referring to the game last season in the FA Cup where, Joe Bennett, he did put in a bit of a nasty challenge on Leroy Sané. It was much publicised at the time as well. And I think he was sent off, for his second bookable offence against, I think it was Aguero, late in the second half, and he deservedly went. One of the best challenges, but you don't really see those challenges from Bennett. He's normally, good in the tackle. Looking out from the back, though, as I said, we've got the likes of Bamba and Morrison. They're not going to mess around with it at the back. They're going to get it out of the danger area at first opportunity, up to the wings or through midfield. The likes of Joe Rolls and Harry Arter, maybe feeding Camarasa, but. No, I think it's going to be a very exciting game this season. Obviously, Manchester City are going to have a lot of the ball, probably over 70%. And I think Cardiff are going to go out and play as much football as we can when we can. We're not going to mess about. We're not going to mess about with it at the back. But I think it'll be a great game all the same.
And my final question is, where do you think you'll finish this season, and what will the score prediction be?
Where do I think Cardiff will finish this season? Well, I'm under no illusions that we are in for a real tough season where we are in a dogfight even at this early stage of the season. Find ourselves, I think we're in 17th position at the moment, just above the drop zone. And I think that's where we'll end up at the end of the season. I think it's going to be really tough. These matches against Manchester City, the likes of Liverpool, those top six clubs, that's not where our season is going to be defined. It's going to be defined against the likes of Crystal Palace, Burnley, Southampton, Fulham even. But if we can pick up points and wins against those sides and gather enough points, then I think we can just about manage to stay up this season. And I can see us finishing 16th, 17th. Yeah, I'm going to go for an optimistic 16th position at the end of this Premiership campaign. As for my prediction this weekend, I'm under no illusions again. This is going to be a very tough match for the Bluebirds. We're probably going to have less than 30% possession throughout this game, but when we do get possession, we're going to have to make sure that we finish off our efforts on goal. Whether we can do that is another thing. I can see us scoring. I noticed in previous weeks when you've been away from home, you did concede against the likes of Newcastle. I think that was a home match though. Wolverhampton. Where you should have won that one 1-0. I know it was a handball I think Wolves had there, but that we can take a little bit of optimism from those matches you've had against Newcastle and Wolves, and I can see us scoring. However, I can see Manchester City scoring as well. But with the crowd behind us, it will be a fantastic atmosphere on Saturday at the Cardiff City Stadium. We were away against Chelsea last weekend, and Chelsea, the atmosphere from their fans was dead. So it's going to be totally different at the Cardiff City Stadium. It could be electric there, and hopefully we can get some sort of result. However, ultimately, I think the quality will shine through for Manchester City, and I can see this one ending up as either 3-1 or 2-1 to the Sky Blues. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory.
Paul's first question is, with Kevin De Bruyne still out injured, has his absence affected the way Manchester City play? I think Kevin De Bruyne would be a massive miss for any team in world football. That's goes without saying. I mean, he's an exceptional footballer. If you asked me this yesterday morning, I would probably have said no, it shouldn't matter because, we've got a strong squad. And then we go and see what happened last night against Lyon, where the squad, the first 11 that Pep picked, wasn't great. It always seems to be that whenever we pick sort of Silva, Fernandinho and Gundogan in the same team, we just were sloppy and we're slow. And so would Kevin De Bruyne have made a difference last night? Absolutely, of course he would. Of course he would have, but it's no excuse. But do we miss him? Yeah, of course we do, without a shadow of a doubt. But hopefully, fingers crossed, the news is that his leg brace is off and he'll resume training this week, even though it's very light training. So fingers crossed, the date in the diary, I think, from all reports, is the derby against Manchester United. So, he's a massive loss to us, without a shadow of a doubt. So my second question that I've been asked by Paul is, Manchester City have started the season very well. Are there any weaknesses, if any, that Cardiff can exploit to get a positive result this weekend? Well, look at last night, Paul. If we pick a similar lineup and we play anywhere like we did last night against Lyon, which was slow and sloppy, then absolutely. And I keep saying it every week. This season we just haven't started like we did last season. I don't know if it's a hangover of the World Cup or what it is, but I think apart from sort of like 20-30 minutes against Arsenal and then Huddersfield, who were really poor on the day, we haven't reached anywhere near the heights of last season. Nowhere near. So we're still unbeaten in the Premier League. We've just dropped 2 points against Wolves, but if we do start kicking into gear, things can only go up. So could you get something? Absolutely. Every week I say the same thing. If you turn up, if you play well, if you kick us all over the park like you did last year, then yeah, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I'm expecting a massive reaction because I wouldn't like to be in the changing room at Carrington at the Etihad, today, because I'm sure Pep's had a few choice words for the players last night. So expect a reaction, certainly from the City players at the weekend. Your third question, it's very early days, but from the little I've seen of Phil Foden, he looks a very good prospect. Do you think he'll eventually make a breakthrough at Manchester City, or do you see his future lying away from the citizens, especially with the way the club can attract some of the world's best players? Well, the Foden debate is, don't go there with it, personally, because I just think it's nonsensical. The kid turned 18 in May. Let's bear that in mind. The season is only 5 games in, 6 games if you include sort of Champions League, and we're already having this whole debate on TalkSport and others sort of asking the same question of should he be playing, he's just turned 18 years of age. So far he's been exceptional at academy level, brilliant at the World Cup and all of those things, and then a couple of weeks ago you get the whole Phil Foden should be in the England squad debate and blah 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 on TalkSport and all the other channels. They need to just give the kid a little bit of breathing space and stop putting so much pressure on such young shoulders. The difference between playing in academy teams and youth teams at international level to the Premier League, the toughest league in world football, is vast. The chasm is absolutely huge. Never mind Champions League football. I heard Adrian Durham having a right go at Pep Guardiola for not bringing him on at the weekend against Fulham. And, it's a slight point he's got. We expected at 3-0 up that instead of Mahrez coming on, maybe he could have played Foden. But if you're in Mahrez's shoes, you just left Leicester for 60 million quid. And you turn up at City and suddenly you're on the bench and you're desperate for games, you've not had much chance or opportunity, and then Pep brings Foden on for the last 15-20 minutes and leaves you on the bench. You can see that's what happens when you get a big expensive squad. You've got to keep them all happy. There's an art form in actually managing big players, which we've got. We've got an exceptional squad. And as well as managing sort of young players, you've got to manage experienced pros as well. So, I don't know. I'm not going down the debate of Foden because I believe he's got a lot of learning to do. He's a lot of growing to do. He's still only slight, even though he has improved and he's got physically a little bit bigger. You know, he's an exceptional talent. I'll give him that. But we're talking about the Premier League. We're talking about getting in ahead of the likes of, I don't know, Gundogan, who many will say, oh, well, he should be in ahead of Gundogan because Gundogan's garbage. I didn't think Gundogan has done well, I must admit, since he's come to City, apart from a few games. I'm not his biggest fan, but what he does do is bring masses of experience, and Pep's already said he'll get loads of game time, Foden, this season. So we've got to trust in Pep, and when he plays him, he'll play. When he doesn't, he doesn't. But as far as moving away, no, I think Pep's already said that Foden will stay with the squad. He'll develop around some of the world's best players. Can only be good for him, and he'll get plenty of opportunity. When the time is right, he'll play, and we need to stop this whole stupid debate that, you know, Phil Foden should be in the team ahead of Fernandinho, Gundogan, David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling. Where are we going to fit him? Who's going to be dropped because of bringing in a kid who's hardly had any football? It's nonsensical as far as I'm concerned. He'll play when he's ready, and when Pep thinks he's ready, and he'll get plenty of cup competition games and some Champions League sub appearances and some Premier League sub appearances, and he might start the odd one. All depends how the season goes. But this whole debate over him, I just think it's garbage. I don't get involved in it. It's rubbish. He's 18. He's a kid. He's learning his trade. Let him learn his trade and take the weight off his shoulders. Yeah. I mean, my bigger concern is somebody who's a year older, and that's Brahim Diaz. It's okay just turning 18 and thinking, well, should he play? What about Brahim Diaz, 19? Now he should be getting more opportunities, and if not, he's the person who should potentially be going on loan to further develop his career if he's not going to get any game time at Manchester City. So both of them are young, very, very, very talented kids. And when the time's right, the time's right. So that's my thoughts on Foden. I think some of the comments that are made by commentators, pundits, etc., is garbage, and I just don't agree with it, and I'm not even going into that debate. So your next question is, what are your thoughts on Cardiff? We were widely tipped by pundits and opposing fans to finish at rock bottom this season, with possibly the lowest points haul in the Premier League history. Do you think that is still the case? My thoughts on Cardiff. Now, I'm always very objective, and I'm not one for making nasty comments, and I'm not one for just using this channel as a dig and try to get views and all those things. Not at all. That's not the way I work, and if you watch any of my videos, Ray's videos, and certainly videos we've done with pre-match previews, I've always been generally quite complimentary of the team so far this season. However, Cardiff, do I like you? No. Neil Warnock, do I like him? No. Do I care if you finish bottom? No. Would I like to see you go down to the Championship? Or would I like another team out of the ones who've been promoted? Well, put it this way, I'd certainly Fulham and Wolves stay up than Cardiff. Now, you might think, well, that's a bit nasty. No, it's not. It's only because I can only go on what happened last season. And the horrendous assaults, and I'm not talking about, oh, it's a man's game and these are... There were some seriously nasty tackles. One on Sané and one on Brahim Diaz. That were horrendous. They were potentially, certainly the tackle on Sané could have put him out for a whole season. It was a nasty, horrible tackle. Premeditated, and so was the one on Brahim Diaz. So because of that, I haven't seen a great deal of you guys, I must admit. But that obviously is very subjective to me. Do I like Cardiff as it stands now? No. Do I like your manager? I dislike him even more than I dislike your team or your team's tactics. Do I think you'll get relegated or finish with the lowest points haul unless something changes between now and the end of the season to make me think of something else? I would say at this moment in time, I hope you do. I hope you finish with less than 10 points. I hope you go down. And I've never said this about any other team, but while you're being run by that dinosaur who plays sort of nasty, aggressive football, and actually what did it for me was the fact he came out afterwards when questioned about it and almost laughed and sort of said, oh, it's a man's game type of thing, and never came out and apologised on behalf of his players for 2 tackles, one on a young kid who just come on the pitch and took him out at knee level, and another on a young kid, because Sane was only 21 at the time, from behind that raked down his Achilles tendon and nearly took, from calf level, could have completely broken his leg. No, not at all. So I'm sorry guys, I don't normally do this, but yeah, as it stands at the moment, I hope you go down with the lowest total of points haul ever, because you're the one team in the Premier League, apart from United and Liverpool, that I don't like. Sorry. So your last question, how do you think the game will play out on Saturday? What's your score prediction? Well, I think it'll play out very similar to last season. I think Warnock will have your boys hyped up, aggressive, flying into tackles. I don't think anything will change. Big balls, pump forward, looking for free kicks, quite happy to throw elbows around, high tackle. Yeah, I think it is going to be a very similar game. I don't think Warnock has got anything different. I think he's a dinosaur. I think he talks a lot of garbage. And yeah, I don't think. Yeah, score prediction. I hope we batter you. I think we'll batter you. I'm going to go for Cardiff 1, City 5. Because I think City will come out a different beast at the weekend. I think Pep will get into the players and get a reaction. So I apologise, I'm not normally like this. I really do promise I'm not normally like this, but I hope we absolutely slaughter you at the weekend. And my score prediction is Cardiff 1, Manchester City 5.
Once again though, Andy, thanks very much for inviting me on this video preview of the Cardiff City versus Manchester City match this weekend. Yeah, I've had a good time, and best of luck for the rest of the season. I know you work hard on the channel. I hope your channel continues to grow, and best of luck for the future.
So anyway, Paul, thank you so much for commenting, for asking your questions to me, and for answering my questions to you. Don't forget guys, go over and check out their channel. And don't forget, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Don't forget to subscribe, click notification, and yeah, we'll see you soon.